When you have a chance to make a choice, make one that you know you won't regret.
Hoyoverse is developing a ton of new games of all different styles and genres, with their most recently announced one being a turn-based story RPG coming to iOS, Android, and PC, with consoles possible but not quite announced yet. Little is actually known about the project outside of the short bits and pieces we've seen of the beta, but it looks incredibly promising so far. And with the recent trailers and character teasers from Hoyoverse, it seems like Honkai Star Rail might be closer than we think. But what is Honkai Star Rail? Honkai Star Rail is a sci-fi turn-based anime RPG that takes place in its own unique worlds and settings, such as inner cities, spaceships, snowy and woodlandsy open world, and more. In it, you'll play as one of two protagonist options and recruit teammates to come with you on your journey through a compelling story. Surprisingly, most Genshin players I've spoken to have expressed a disinterest in the game as a whole. If you're a Genshin Impact player primarily, you have no reason to be initially invested in this game at all, right? Well, not quite. This game will likely be linked with Honkai in some way, but the story of Star Rail is going to be its very own. You don't need any prior knowledge of the Honkai universe to be able to follow with the characters and development of the game, which is fantastic because Honkai Star Rail is shaping up to be quite an exciting game. With amazing writing, gameplay, and content coming from Honkai Impact 3rd, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that Honkai Star Rail will be a hit. Though the plotline of the story has not yet been revealed, game mechanics have been showcased all over the internet. As of making this video, there are 7 classes and 7 elements in the game. The 7 classes are Fertility, Preservation, Hunt, Concord, Nihility, Nous, and Destruction. Each class has a unique role to play and is classified as such. Fertility is healers, Preservation is your bulky, high HP classes and tanks, Hunt is the assassin class that's going to deal high single target damage, Concord is going to be your supports and buffers, Nihility is going to be debuffer supports, and Nous and Destruction are both damage dealing classes. Now, all of the classes are meant to fill specific roles, but they can all contribute to other roles as well. For example, of all the gameplay we've seen, every character has been able to deal damage in one way or another regardless of their class. Think of class more like a specialization. Some characters that are meant to be damage dealers also dish out some buffs and debuffs. Hoyoverse's philosophy on design is that the characters in their games, their personality, writing, and gameplay are the most important parts of their projects, which will hold up well for a turn-based game where different kit designs and tactical play are important to a complex and diverse gameplay loop. On top of your class types though, there's also 7 different elements to play with as of the first beta. These elements include physical, fire, ice, lightning, wind, quantum, and imaginary, very similarly to Honkai Impact. Each element will play a huge part in how your battles go, with certain enemies having various weaknesses and resistances. When it comes to challenging content, boss battles, and any possible PvP, elements and team composition are going to play a huge part in the outcome of those challenges. Because you'll have 4 characters out at a time, and enemies will also have multiple characters, speed stats will come into play a lot, determining who attacks first. A stat system that determines how often you attack and when you attack plays a huge role in the outcome of fights too, so you're going to want to make sure to craft your teams with things like that in mind. With characters that are fast enough, they sometimes can even get 2 hits in one turn, but you do have a sort of resource bar in every battle, and that bar determines what abilities you'll be able to use each turn, so attacking twice could be a detriment in some situations. On top of that, in most games, characters that excel in one thing have to give up another stat, so characters that attack hard and fast may actually be like glass cannons that get defeated fairly easily. Though Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based game, there's a lot of thought that can go into each turn, making it have quite a bit of depth. Outside of your battles, each character is going to have their own progression system with equipment as well to diversify builds and create an incentive to improve. With a system similar to artifacts in Genshin Impact, there will be a lot of different options to diversify your teams and create fun and cool synergies. Systems like this will be incredibly important to clearing difficult content like Endgame Challenges. Similarly to Genshin and Honkai, there's a sort of abyss where you'll partake in challenging fights where instead of a timer, you'll have a certain amount of turns to be able to clear that battle. Otherwise, you'll fail. This endgame content will likely yield pretty solid rewards, and it'll definitely be worth working towards, giving you some sort of incentive to progress your characters through the game and keep improving after you've beaten the main story. Though Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based game and not the style of combat that every player is into, you'll find that there's still lots to love about it. As with all Hoyoverse games, Honkai Star Rail has incredible world building and great lore to go along with it. Regardless of whether or not the combat is for you, the writing is sure to be amazing, and there will be plenty of of other reasons to get invested in the game. I, for one, am incredibly excited to find what secrets and wonderful stories Honkai Star Rail has to offer, and it looks like we'll be able to all play it fairly soon. Considering the massive success that Hoyoverse has found with their most recent games Honkai and Genshin Impact, a lot of the community has faith that this game, Honkai Star Rail, will be the next big thing to blow up within the anime gaming community. And considering how beautiful this game looks and how well characters are written by Hoyoverse in the Honkai universe specifically, things are looking very promising. And you know what? I hope it's the next Genshin Impact, because I would love to see more diversity in the anime game genre, and especially diversifying out to a mobile audience and a console audience eventually as well. I think it's extremely healthy for gaming to be heading in a direction where there are so many different genres that you can play and still get similar experiences with the culture that you want to be invested in, or just the style of art or game or characters that you want to play. So I, for one, am all for this project, and I hope it finds a lot of success. As of right now, the signups for the second closed beta test are open, so if you're interested in getting the opportunity to try out Honkai Star Rail and contribute to its development, links will be in the description. Are you excited for Honkai Star Rail? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, if you've enjoyed this quick overview of what to expect and you want to see more Star Rail content or news on newer games, make sure to drop a sub and like the video. It really helps me out. Thanks for watching, Captains, and I'll see you next time.